Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. So, welcome to the week 7 of this course on the joy of computing using Python. And as we have been doing in the past few weeks, we would be looking at some of the assignment quiz questions as well as some programming questions based on week 7 course content, which will help you in solve the current session's assignment problems. So we are looking at the previous year's question papers, assignment and quiz problems from the previous year's session of this course. And hopefully these previous year's questions will be beneficial to all of you to solve the current session's course. So just a few logistical details before we start with our session. Let me share the link to the channel for these live sessions. Just give me a minute. So I have put up the link to the YouTube channel in the chat box. So this is where all these live sessions are live streamed and recorded. So that even if you miss some session or if you're not able to watch it at some point of time, then you can go back to this YouTube channel and rewatch the videos as many times as you want. So these videos will be always available for you on the YouTube channel. And sometimes some people have mentioned that they face some network issues in Zoom. So in that case also, I would recommend going to this YouTube channel and you can watch the live video on the live streaming on the YouTube channel, which comes out crystal clear. So this is one of my suggestions based on the feedback I received in the past few weeks. So yes, so that's the YouTube channel, and all these lecture notes would also be available for you. So please make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you get regular updates as to when some video is uploaded or when the lecture notes are uploaded. And so we have these sessions every Saturday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. It's a 2-hour live session. And there are other TAs also who conduct sessions. I am one of the TAs who conduct and I conduct my sessions every Saturday. So that's that. And now let's get started. I see someone has asked me a question. Ma'am, how many weeks we practice to get good marks? Okay, so this is, I think, Jaya Pranay. So Jaya Pranay, see, this is a 12 weeks course, okay? So, and every week you learn a few new concepts. So initially in the first few weeks, you would have felt that you are learning a lot of new things because this language was new for you, the syntax was new for you. So everything being new for all of you, the first few weeks, I believe, would have been a little bit heavy or difficult to get accustomed to writing programs. But even after that, if you notice, every week you learn some new things, some new concepts in programming, or you revise some of the previously learned concepts. So I would say that please try to watch as many videos as possible. I do understand that all of you might be having some busy schedules based on your college or work or whatever. So, but these are very nice and fun videos. I personally feel that the instructors have put in a lot of effort in making this course. And this is by far the best introductory programming course that I have come across. And I have done quite a lot of programming. And I still do a lot of programming being a student. So, and this is one of the best courses that I've ever seen. And if I were to relearn programming all over again, I would definitely take up this course So it's a good course. So Jayapranay, I would recommend that you try to watch um, as many videos as possible if you want to get good marks, definitely. But even other than that, if you want to learn good programming skills, then I would feel that you should try to practice all the codes that are demonstrated in the lectures, which that will be very helpful for you. And you should also try to write the code in some different manner. Let's say the instructors have come up with some way of writing the code, maybe you can come up with some different logic. So you should try and experiment with programming, so to say, and that will make you a much better programmer. Okay, so let's get started with this week. Okay, I have a small request. Okay, I don't understand how I can make sure that every participant joins in mute, uh, with mute audio. So whenever you join, please mute yourselves. Uh, Otherwise, it causes a lot of audio disturbance. And if you have a doubt, please raise your hand. There is a raise hand in Zoom, and or you can write in the chat box, or you should unmute and ask then and there itself. But please don't keep yourself on unmute just like that. Like, even if you don't have any doubt or any question, you don't have to say anything. Still, if you keep yourself on unmute mode, then that causes a lot of audio disturbance. So all of you, whenever you join, please mute yourselves. Okay, so I think we can get started. Sorry, yeah, Prajwal, you have a doubt? Audio is not coming. Okay, let me check. Let me just check once. Hello, is my audio better now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
fine.
ma'am.
Okay, fine. So, who is this? Someone was saying my audio is not coming out fine, but I think it is fine for everyone else. So, if you are not able to hear me, then I would suggest that you disconnect your audio from your end and rejoin. That would be helpful. Okay, so finally, let us start with week 7. So, congratulations to all of you. You have completed 50% of the course, and 50% more is left. So, it's good that all of you have come this far in the course, and by now, I feel you would have got quite a decent idea of how to write programs in Python. So, if not, we still have 6 more weeks to go, and by the end of this course, you would definitely be pretty good in programming. Okay, first question. So in this week, you were introduced to some new file formats, and one of those file formats is CSV file format. So the first question is on this CSV file format, and let me start the poll. Okay, so the question is, values of CSV files are separated by, the options are A commas, B colons, C semicolons, and D slash. So take 30 seconds to answer this question. It's a very simple question. I believe almost everyone will get it right. You have 5 more seconds, then I'll stop this poll. Okay, so let me stop the poll and let me share the results of the poll. So yeah, most of you got it right. And the correct answer to this is A, commas. So the full form,
Commas.
sorry, okay. So the full form of CSV, so CSV stands for comma separated values. Okay, so that's the full form of CSV. And if you would have watched the videos, you see that all the data points, they are separated by commas. So that's why it's called comma separated values. Okay, so let's move to the next question. This is actually, let me zoom in a little bit. So this is actually a pretty big code. So although you people can, if you are very fast in typing, you can try and see and analyze this code. I will give you 2 minutes for this. If not, I have already typed it in my Spider. So I will just go to Spider and show you the output of the code, and then we will go through the code line by line to see uh, what is happening. Okay, wait, let me just relaunch the poll here. Okay, I have relaunched the poll. So someone is saying that Sangeeta, I guess, is saying that I'm not, that she's not able to hear me. Is it the thing? I think my audio seems to be fine from my end. If people are able to hear me, could you just put in the chat box some thumbs up or something? Or there's something called reactions. If you can react, thumbs up. Audible. So Rahul is able to hear me. Sangeeta, I would suggest that even Elango is able to hear me. So Sangeeta, it seems that the audio problem is at your end. I would suggest disconnecting your audio and reconnecting once again. If you still face issues, please go to this YouTube channel, and there you can watch this video live. So it is being live streamed on YouTube as well. So I have started the poll for this question. It's a pretty long piece of code. So take your time. I'll give you a few minutes for this. In the meanwhile, I have opened it up in Spider, and we will go through this in Spider. But try to see if you can follow line by line in this code, and if you can see how the output will come out to be. So whenever you have any piece of code and you have to guess the output of that piece of code, then you should always sit with a piece of paper, a pen and paper. And what you should try doing is go line by line. So here you see that the function is being defined. Then you see coming inside the function, some variables are being initialized. Then you have a while loop. So then some for loops. And then at the bottom, the function is being called. So you need to check. This is the function being called. Function is being called with these parameters. So these are parameters for the function, or it's called arguments. So these will be arguments to the function. So these are the arguments to the function. So you would see that, okay, these are the parameters being passed over here. So row in this function is 3, column is 3, And this ARR is basically this matrix right here. It's a 3x3 matrix. So, and you see row start is initialized to 0 and row is 3. So, 0 is less than 3, and column start is also initialized to 0 and column is 3. So, even column start, that is 0, is less than 3. So, that means this while loop is true. So, it will enter this while loop. And then you have a for loop which starts from row start to row. That means 0 to 3. And then you print something and then you increment the column start. So this is how you will go line by line, step by step, one line at a time. So take a few more minutes and then I'll go to Spider. Try to see if you are able to answer this question. Okay, a few more seconds. Okay, so let me stop the poll or let the poll be active. I will go to Spider. So here I am in the Spider terminal, sorry, Spider editor, and I have already typed the code for all of you. So this is the same code that is there in the question, and all we need to do now is to run this code. So here I just ran this code and you see the output over here. Output is 1, 5, 9, 10, 11, 7, 3, 2, 6. So the if we go back to the question, let me go back to the question. So the correct answer is option C over here, which unfortunately none of you selected. So if I share the poll results, oh, someone has now selected. So yeah, most of you have selected A and B. People did not select option C. I guess one student has now selected. So let me stop this poll. So let's go back to Spider once again. Okay, for those of you who are saying that it is coming blurred, please go to YouTube. And for this code, I'm going back to Spider. The code will be much more visible in Spider. So here is the code. I hope now it is visible. Okay, so in this Spider, we can see this code much better. So you see that this is defining some sort of a spiral function. That means you have a matrix and you want to display the elements of that matrix in a form of a spiral. So what is happening here is we have this 3x3 matrix 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, and we are displaying it in a particular order. So if I just write down this matrix here, So what you see is first is coming is 5, sorry 1, and then we are going down, vertically down in the first column. So after 1 we are going to 5, then we are continuing to go vertically down in the first column and we go to 9. Then we move along the last row, that is 9, 10, 11 row. Then what we do is we come back up from the last column. So after 11 we come back up the last column, that means 7, and then we come back one step more up, that is 3. Then we move along the top row. So after 3 we go to 2 because this is the top row, and then we go down in the second column. So from 2 we go down to 6. So that's how this pattern is working out. If I write it down, let me go back to our notes, our question. So what is happening here is, let me come back here. So we have this matrix 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, and 11. Now, the particular order in which we are displaying is like so. So we first go down, then we move to the right, then we go up, then we move to the left, and then we come down back again. So that's the order that is being followed. This is a little bit different from the order discussed in the lectures. In the lectures, what we had was the order of the spiral was somewhat like this, going right. So in the video lectures, this is what is there in the lectures. The order of the spiral was somewhat like this, but here in this question we have an anti-clockwise order of displaying the spiral. Okay, so let's move to the next question. This is also a code based question. I hope the code is visible properly now. Okay, so this is a question based on turtle graphics. So as you saw in this week, we learned how to make some simple animations in Python using the turtle package. Okay, some people have doubts. Giga, could you unmute and ask question? Giga and Niga. Okay, they have lowered their hand. Okay, so this is a question on turtle graphics and how to use a turtle package to make some simple animations. You saw it in this week, how to use turtle. So this is a question on that. So please take a minute to answer this poll. It's a very simple question. If you analyze this loop, what is happening in the loop? A simple for loop is there. So there's actually some history behind turtle. So there is a programming language called Logo. I don't know if you have heard this or not. I'll type it out in the chat box. So Logo is a programming language, and it's primarily aimed at making kids familiar with programming language. So it's aimed at being school children's first programming language. And in that there is a triangle looking icon which is called a turtle, and that turtle moves across the screen. It goes forward, backward, right, left, That's why these commands are used over here: forward, right, uh, so on and so forth. This is similar. This is an analogy with that logo programming language. So this turtle package basically implements all of the properties of that logo programming language within Python. So that's why it's called turtle. It comes from logo. Okay, so let me stop the poll. Okay, so uh, the correct answer is equilateral triangle. Okay, let us put it in spider and then we will see what happens. So let's go back to our spider. Let me remove all of this code and let me write down our turtle code here. I'm just writing down the code. So are you able to see this thing? I'm not sure if you are able to see the output. It seems to have opened up in a different window. Okay, let me do one thing. I hope now you can see everything. So see, this is the output. So this is the code that we have, this turtle graphics code, and this is the output. And clearly it is an equilateral triangle. And even if you think about it, it should be an equilateral triangle. Why? Because you're moving forward by the same distance every time. So this loop is running 3 times because for I in range 3, and each of those times you are moving by the same amount, that is same distance, 60 pixels so to say, and then you are turning right by 120 degrees. So 120 degrees is the outside angle of 60 degrees. So inside an equilateral triangle, the angle is 60 degrees. But if you look at the angle outside of it, that is 120 degrees. So 120 degrees is the amount that the turtle would have to turn in order to move along the equilateral triangle. So clearly the answer would be equilateral triangle, simply because of, you can see this line, it is moving forward same by same amount, and it is turning by 120 degrees every time. So it cannot be scalene, it cannot be isosceles, it cannot be right angled, it has to be equilateral triangle. Okay, so let's come back. Okay, some people are saying no, ma'am. This no, ma'am was to which question? Okay, did you see that equilateral triangle, or did you not see the equilateral triangle? If not, then I would rerun the code. Just type in the chat box. Okay, yeah, you saw. Fine. Okay, great. So, next question. This is also on turtle graphics. Okay, so the question is, which of the following programs will draw a hexagon? So you have four pieces of code, um, and you need to decide which one will display a hexagon on the screen. So it's similar to the previous question. The previous question was on making triangles. This one is on making hexagons. So as I said before, this turtle package is inspired from Logo, and Logo was made for people to get into programming, and that's why simple shapes like square, triangle, hexagons, these are pretty much popular and standard in Logo programming language. So that's why uh, even in this turtle package, we are doing this some of these simple stuff like triangle, hexagon, and stuff like
Oh,
that.
oh.
So let me launch the poll. Okay, so take a minute to solve this. So after doing the triangle, I think now this hexagon should be easy for all of you. So take a minute to solve this question. Okay. So I request all of you to attempt these questions and try to answer the poll questions. This would be beneficial for all of you because then you would try to solve the questions by yourself instead of just waiting for me to give the final answer to all of you. So it's a good practice if you try solving it along with me and along with the entire class instead of just waiting for the final answer. Okay, so let me stop the poll. Okay, so the correct answer is option B. And I will tell you why this is the correct option. So I see many of you have selected option C and option D. But you look at this angle in option C and in option D. Now in a hexagon, the angle is not 30 degrees. Okay. A regular hexagon, let me draw a hexagon for all of you. I'm not sure if I'll be able to draw it nicely. Yeah. So this is a regular hexagon, and this angle, inside angle is 120 degrees, and the outside angle is 60 degrees. Now when you have a turtle, what is happening is the turtle is pointing in this direction, let's say, and you want to, it has moved a certain, actually it will not move in this direction, it will move to the right because it is saying pen dot right. So you have the turtle has moved this much direction by pen dot right. So this is because of the pen dot right command. 30 pixels it moves, and then it needs to turn to move along this direction. So from here to here, it needs to turn by this 60 degrees. So the angle of turning needs to be 60 degrees, which is over here. Okay. So, and even here it is in option A, it is showing 60 degrees, but this is only 3 times. That means it is make only 3 lines. Here also it is 3 times, but then you see that it is inside the loop there are two forward statements. So what is happening is, it is step 1 is like this. This is step 1. Let me take a, this is first iteration of the loop. Let me now take a different color. So second iteration of the loop is this, and a third color maybe. The third iteration of the loop is like this. Okay, so in 3 iterations it is doing like this, and in each iteration it is drawing 2 sides of the hexagon. So that's how this code is working. And I'll put write in spider also so that it becomes clear to all of you. Let's go back to our spider. Okay, so I need to change this. Move. First it is move pen dot right. Right by 60 degrees. Then it is move forward by 60. Then again repeating these 2 lines. So this is the code, and let's run this. Oh wait, some problem is there. I'm not able to close this window. I think that is causing the problem. I don't understand why this is throwing error. Earlier it was not throwing error when we had this code. Okay, sorry, I get it. So okay, now we'll repeat it. I don't see why this code is giving some sort of error. Maybe I'll fix this and let you know later. Uh, Somehow the windows in my computer are not closing. So the problem is occurring, I think, because I'm unable to close the previous window. This window is not closing somehow. So something weird is happening. Pardon me for this. Huh, now this window closed. Okay, let me see. Something strange is happening. I don't know why this is happening. This is probably an issue with my PC because I guess it is getting stuck. I'm not able to close this turtle graphics thing. And only if I close it once and restart it, it will work. But I'm not able to do that right now. So I'm really sorry for this. Hopefully, next time, this thing should not happen. I'll update my PC once before the class, and then I think it will be fine. But the logic of the code remains the same. So let's just discuss on the logic of the code. Yeah, Nalini is saying that she is getting hexagon shape. Yeah, Nalini, how you got the thing? Close the graphics file and run again. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not able to somehow close my graphics file. Uh, Somehow my computer is giving up. So I'm really sorry for that. So Nalini, you have got it very good. That's good to know. So, but this is the logic of the code. Since most of you have had got it wrong, that's why I felt I should explain it once before moving ahead. Okay, let's proceed. Now we have pretty straightforward simple question. Which of the following library is used to render data on Google Maps? Pretty much straightforward question if you have followed the video lectures on GPS tracking. So this is very simple. Okay, let me start the poll. It's a syntax based question. You just have to know this. There is no logic here. So take 30 seconds and do this. Okay, I will stop the poll now. So most of you have got it right. The correct answer is indeed option C, which is, oh sorry, let me change the color of my pen, which is GM plot. So by the way, I have managed to fix my spider. So just for the sake of it, I'll go back once and show you that indeed we get a hexagon for this previous code, for this code. Just give me 30 seconds. So here is the code and here is the output. So I was not able to close my graphics window. So I just restarted this thing once again and there you go. So that's your hexagon for this particular piece of code. Great. So let's get back. Hmm. So we are back to our questions. So moving on. Again, this is another question on turtle graphics. By now, I think you would have become quite familiar with turtle graphics and how things are working over here. So let me start the poll. I expect most of you should get it right. Oh, sorry. Yeah, here is the piece of code. These are the options. Take a minute to solve the question. Okay, I'll stop the poll now. So the correct option over here is option D. Now notice that you encounter a new piece of function over here called pen up. So what this pen up function means is that pen up and pen down, these are two new functions that you see in this piece of code. So pen up and pen down are basically means that it's just like when you are writing on a piece of paper with a normal pen. So when you put the pen down on the paper and then write, then you see ink coming on the paper. But if you lift the pen up from the paper, then if you keep moving, nothing will come on the paper. So exactly same way over here is, so pen,
My option is wrong.
sorry, Sravya, you have some question. So pen up means it will not draw, and pen down means it will draw. So these are the two new functionalities that are there. So basically, this piece of code is the same hexagon code that we had earlier. So we had this hexagon code over here, right 60, forward 60, right 60, forward 60 for 3 times. Same thing we have over here, right 60, forward 60, right 60. So right 60, forward 60, right 60, forward 60 3 times. So this is the same code as earlier. So it will generate this hexagon. What you will get is a hexagon. But you see that it will draw only 3 lines of the hexagon. So draw 3 lines, and it does not draw 3 lines, and this is alternative and this is alternated. So it first draws 1 line, and then this part it will draw, and this part it will not draw because of the pen up. And then you put the pen down, then again it comes in the second iteration of the loop, it will draw, then there is pen up, so it will not draw. So out of the 6 lines of the hexagon, it draws 3 lines, and it does not draw the other 3 lines. So that's how this code is working. Okay, next question. So this question is related to the previous question, and I just now explained to you what these commands are. So the question is, which turtle command is equivalent to lifting up a pen? I expect all of you should get this right. Right. If not, it means that you people are not paying attention. If you want help, I will scroll up so that you know what just happened in the previous question, if in case you forgot what we discussed in the previous question. Okay, all of you answer this question. I'm waiting for 10 more seconds. Okay, I'll stop the poll now. Okay, so most of you got it right. I'm a little bit sad that 2 of you did not get it right. So the correct option is pen up. Some of you selected pen lift. That is not the correct option. Pen up is the correct option, and we just saw in this previous question this command right here. This is the pen up command, and it's equivalent to lifting up a pen because it will not draw then. So pen up, let me write down here. Pen up means does not draw. Okay, so we'll proceed further. Uh, so this is a very trivial kind of a question. Why do we use functions? So there are certain programming ethics, or maybe good programming practices, so to say. So you can write a piece of code however you feel like. Okay, it's entirely up to you. You may choose to write it whatever way you feel like, but there are some things known as programming practices, good programming practices, so to say. And uh, wait, what happened? Huh. So this question is basically on good programming practices. So why do we use functions? Well, functions are used for good programming practices. And what are these good programming practices? So that would be to improve readability of the code, because if you use functions, you understand what that particular function is doing. It is to
Okay.
it is to reuse code blocks, definitely, because you can reuse the function again and again. You can call the function again and again in the code without having to rewrite those 10 to 15 lines of code over and over again. You can just call it using one line. So it improves readability, it reuses code blocks, and also for the ease of code debugging. Because if you have one function and you debug that one function, and then everything is good to go. Every time you call it, it will give you the correct result. But if you write those 10-15 lines over and over again wherever you want to call that function, instead of calling it, if you write that entire piece segment of code, then it is quite possible that at some place you might make some error, or if you change some things in one place, it will not get reflected in the other places. So using functions is basically one of the good programming practices. So all of the above is the answer here, and this is because of good programming practices. I mean, you are free to write code however you feel like. You may not use functions at all when you are writing your code, and that's totally up to you, but that will just make your life more difficult. Another good programming practice is to use comments. So use comments wherever possible in your code. That will increase the readability of the code. So after 1 week, let's say you revisit your code, you might have forgotten what you have written over there. But if you have comments at appropriate locations, then it will be easier for you to recall and recollect what that code aims to do. Okay, next question. This is on library packages. So the question is, which is the library used to import images? So in the snakes and ladder video, we used a library to import the image of the snakes and ladders board. So which is that library that is used to import images?
These questions only asked in final exam.
Okay, someone is asking. Yeah, sorry, what's your question? Yes, Ravya, what is your question?
Is this some questions will come in final exam?
Okay, so Sravya, these are questions which have been asked in the previous year's quiz questions. And it so happens that you get similar kind of questions every year. So what I'm doing is I'm selecting questions from the past 2 years. I have question banks for past 2 years, and from those 2 years the pattern I see, and also for this year when I'm looking at the quiz questions, I see quite a similar pattern in the questions. Let's say you had turtle questions on turtle graphics, right? So you will have similar questions on turtle graphics. Maybe let's say not drawing a triangle, you might get a question on how to draw a square using turtle, but the concept remains same: how to use the turtle, how to make it move forward, how to make it turn right, left, by certain degrees. So once you understand the concept from these questions, you will be able to solve any of the current year's quiz and programming assignment questions. So in the final exam also, you would have some MCQ questions and some programming questions. So similar kind of stuff will come, like if you practice these quizzes and programming assignments properly, then you would be able to do well.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, let's look at the answer. So the answer is PIL. Okay, this is the library that is used to import images, and the syntax was discussed in the lectures. You can go ahead and watch the snakes and ladder uh, video. Over there you will see uh, how this library is used, and the full form of this PIL is why it is called PIL. It's Python Imaging Library. So as the name suggests, this is a library dedicated to imaging and dealing with images. So that's why it's PIL. I mean, it has a full form. Don't confuse it with the legal full form of public interest litigation. It is not that. So in Python, it is Python Imaging Library, and it has got nothing to do with legal aspects. So yes, let's move forward. In snakes and ladders, what can be the ways to track ladders and snakes? So again, now we have some pretty much simple questions. So option is by maintaining a dictionary with snakes or ladder number blocks as keys, or using the if condition to check on every number, both A and B, or none of the above. So you have 30 seconds. Okay, I'll stop the poll. So most of you got it right. The correct option is option C, both A and B. So using the if condition was what was used in the lecture. You can also use dictionary. So how you can create the dictionary? You can have a dictionary and you can say D equal to uh, first number, whatever the first number is, and assign, let's say that is having a ladder. So first number having ladder, then another number with a ladder, then let's say a third number. This one has snake, and so on and so forth. You can have all the entries. Okay, let's move ahead. So similar question based on the previous one. How ladders and snakes are represented by the instructor? Through lists, through dictionaries, through if conditions, through sets. So again, take 30 seconds, similar to the previous question. In fact, I have already written down the answer, so everyone should get it right. Still some people are not getting it right. I'm waiting for that one day, that one question which everyone gets right. That day I'll be the happiest. That day I can promise you, means if you're around, some chocolates or something. But yeah. Okay, 10 more seconds. Okay, so still some people have selected some wrong option. So the instructors are using if conditions. I just now wrote in the previous question that using the if condition was what was used in the video lectures. Using dictionary is another way. You can use dictionaries. You can also use lists. You can use lists. You can use dictionaries. But the instructors have used if and elif conditions. So yeah, to answer Shravya's question regarding exams, Shravya, I would like to point out over here itself. You see this question number 10 and question number 11. These are from two different years. And you see that these two questions are pretty similar. Like if you know one, you would know the other. Like that it is. Some of the questions were exact, same repeated questions that I have not taken. That's why you would see that I have only 18 questions instead of 20 questions, because there were questions which are exactly same, repeated. So yeah, if you solve these previous year's questions, it will be beneficial for current year as well. Okay, let's move forward. Okay, see another question. This is similar to the first question that we did today, and I wrote down this full form of CSV. So yeah, I'll restart, take 30 seconds. I had written it in the first question what the full form of CSV is, and I guess you all know it by now. So take your time when you answer poll. I think sometimes people get the answer wrong. Is that I think you just click whatever option you see without giving it 10 seconds of thought. I thought this one 100% people will get right. Okay, so I'll stop the poll. Let me share the results. So the correct option is option A. CSV stands for comma separated values. Some people selected option C. I don't know how that will make sense. Semicolon separated values. I have not heard of this file format. And even if you look at its acronym, that should be SSV or maybe SCSV, but not CSV. So yeah, comma separated values is the full form of CSV. Okay, some people are asking some questions. Ma'am, is there any way I can get previous year question papers, ma'am, like websites? Could you mention them, please? Okay, no, there is no way for students to access previous year questions. We are given an access link, which is like we are provided the access, and that is unique to us. Like even if I send that link over to you, you will not be able to access it. So yeah, that's how it is. Uh, so you directly cannot raven us. If no, who is this person? Yeah, Elango, I think, is asking me this question. So Elango, no, students can directly not see this thing. I am really sorry about that. But the only way you have access to the previous year's question is through these live sessions and through the YouTube channel. So all these questions and all the notes and all these recordings are there on the YouTube channel. So if you ever want to revisit these questions, you would have to go back to the YouTube channel. There is no other link or website. Okay, let's move forward. Which of the following libraries is used for animation? So you saw in this week, we animated a spiral, like a spiral going clockwise. So this question is which library was used to create that animation? So give me a second. I will relaunch the poll. Take a few more seconds. Okay, so I'll stop the poll now. Most of you got it right. It is turtle. Some people selected random, I don't know why. And some people selected matplotlib, and you are not wrong. This is also correct. So turtle is what is used in the lectures, and matplotlib can also be used for animations. So till now you have seen that matplotlib is used for plots, right? You are using matplotlib.pyplot to make plots. So matplotlib.pyplot.plot you use to make plots. So how you make plots? You use import matplotlib.pyplot. You use this pyplot function as plt, let's say, and then you have an array for x, then you have an array for y. So let's say x is 1 2 3, y is 1 4 9, and then what you do plt dot plot x comma y. This is how you do plots with matplotlib. But you can also do animations from matplotlib, and the function for that is matplotlib dot animation. So turtle is shown in the lectures, how to do animation with turtle, that you have seen. And even matplotlib can be used. So let me just show you one website. A quick demo of the capabilities of matplotlib uh, as an animation package. Okay, wait. I hope you are able to see my screen. So yeah, so this is a very nice website uh, called Geeks for Geeks. So it's very good for programming, and if you have any kind of doubt or query or something, you can just go to this website geeksforgeeks.org. Let me copy paste this link in the Zoom chat box. So if you go down over here, okay, ignore all these advertisements. I was looking for marathon shoes. I think that's why it's showing these advertisements from Adidas over here. Ignore those advertisements. So you can just go through this quick document for matplotlib for animations, and it's quite fun to use to make animations basically, and they have given you some tutorials and demos, so you can just have a look at it. So you see, let me show you the output. So see this kind of animation they have made in matplotlib. Very simple thing, you can also try it out. Then some more, if we look at it, some more examples. See, this is similar to the spiral thing that was made using turtle. Instead of a square spiral, this is a basically circular kind of a spiral. So this kind of animation is made using matplotlib. You can try some of these things, and you see that the functionality used is this matplotlib.animation. That is what you would use. So let me just try and copy this piece of code and show it to you. So yeah, just see how this spiral is there. So yeah, simple stuff that you can do even with matplotlib. So yeah, the answer to this question is not just turtle, but it is also like matplotlib can also be used. It is just that in these lectures, the instructors used turtle instead of Matplotlib. But you should explore this as well. So my suggestion is always that whenever you see some things in the lectures, then go and try it out on your own and try to find out some other new things as well. It will be beneficial for you and you will learn programming much faster. Okay, so let's come back. So this is a kind of a conceptual question. The spiral animation problem can be broken down into, okay? So let me start the poll. Okay, so yeah, it's a conceptual kind of question based on what the instructors demonstrated in the video lectures. Take 30 seconds to answer this. Okay, I'll stop the poll. The answer to this question is a 2D table. And why it is like this is because conceptually, animating a spiral was related to that 2D matrix that we had. So we basically broke down that spiral program as to how to animate it. Well, we will have a 2D matrix and then we will display pixels at the locations of those 2D matrix elements. So we will, let's say, display every element of that matrix in a particular order that will give us the animation effect. So that's why like this. And if you I can rewrite over here. So let's say we have a matrix. So this is the matrix and the animation was done such that we are moving along this for the spiral animation, then we are going down, then like this, like this, like this, like this, and like this. Okay, so that's how animation is done for the spiral. What is the purpose of the GPS program shown in the lectures? So again, it's a very lecture based question. So as you are seeing over here, so the questions are not just Python based questions. The questions are also based on what is being shown and demonstrated in the lectures. So it's not that you just need to know good Python and then you would be able to do well in the exams. You also need to watch the lectures and know what's happening in the lectures to be able to do well in the exams. Okay, so there is no point in wasting time on this question because there is no Python over here. And also most of you have are giving the correct answer. So I'll give you the answer. The answer, oh sorry, not blue color. The answer is B, to track the directions of the user. So again, this has got nothing to do with Python. It's purely based on the lectures. Okay, I'll stop the poll. So this is another question, a programming based question. So let me relaunch the poll. Okay, so we need to predict the output of this particular piece of code. What does the following program do after execution? And the program involves using PIL library and opening and saving some images. Okay, I'll stop the poll. So none of you selected the correct option in this actually. So just go back and try running this code on your computer. So the correct option happens to be throws an error. Okay. So you just, there is nothing to it. It's just syntax, how it works. So it throws up error. So you can go and try whenever you are free with Spider. Okay, let's move on to the next question. So the question is, which of the following code will draw a star? So you need to draw a star using turtle graphics. Which of the following uh, pieces of code will draw that star for you? Let me start the poll. So take a minute to solve this question. So go line by line in the for loop. So by now you would have become familiar. Forward means move forward, right by the pixel number, and right means turn right by that much degrees. Okay, so let me stop the poll. Okay, so I will stop the poll, and most of you have got the answer correct. The correct option is option C. So this is for drawing a star, and I can show it to you in Spider. So let me open Spider, just give me a minute. So this is the Spider where I have written the code, and this is the output. You see the star is there. So this is how uh, the star will be made. Now turtle graphics is actually it causes some problems to me, like this stuff doesn't close. I don't know if other people are also facing this issue, but the way to get over this issue is to restart the stuff. So somehow turtle is like, I don't think I'm a fan of this turtle. So anyway, so we are back. So the kind of star that is being made is like this. Okay, this is the star. Okay, last question before we move to the programming assignment. Which method is used to fill color in shapes drawn by the turtle? So turtle can also be used to fill, let's say you made a triangle and you want to make a red colored triangle. So you can fill color inside the triangle. So take 30 seconds and then we'll proceed to programming. So yeah, as the name suggests, it's pretty much obvious that to fill color, the command is fill color. It cannot get more intuitive than this. So that's all for the quiz questions. And I will stop the poll. No more polls for the day. Now we move to the programming assignment questions. So the first question in the programming assignment is, given a square matrix M, write a function diagcalc which calculates the sum of left and right diagonals and prints it. Okay, so let's say you have a 3 cross 3 matrix as an input. So this is one example given over here. This is my matrix. So matrix looks like this is the matrix. Okay, and if you look at the left diagonal, so this is the left diagonal, that is 1 plus 4 plus 8, that turns out to be 13. And if you look at the right diagonal, that's this, it's 3 plus 4 plus 6, that also turns out to be 13. So both left and right diagonals, the sum is 13 in this case, but it may or may not be the case for every other matrix. So that's the aim of this question. You have to take a matrix as an input, and then you have to sum up the left and right diagonals. So you can do it by whatever method you want to do it. Let me show you one way of writing the code. So we will have the function called diag calc, which takes the matrix M as the inputs, where matrix M. And let's say we have, for the left diagonal, we initialize, then we will initialize for the right diagonal, and then we'll run a loop over the elements. So this is how you access the left diagonal elements. And then for the right diagonal, this is how you will access right diagonal elements. Okay, so notice that I have used this thing called plus equal to. So in Python, when you write, let's say, a plus equal to b, that basically means a equal to a plus b. Okay, so this is a shorthand notation. So that shorthand notation I've used over here. And then you will print the sum for the left diagonal and for the right diagonal. Okay, and then you will call the function. So you will have the matrix M equal to whatever the matrix that you have. You can just put in the matrix here, and then you will call the function. Okay, so this is how we write this piece of code. Let me show it to you in Spider. Okay, so here is Spider. So let me write down my piece of code. I'm just writing it over here, whatever I wrote earlier in the notes. Notice these warnings that it gives. Python gives these warnings that local variable count L is assigned to but never used. So these orange triangles that you see, but they will go away once you use these variables. So I will use the shorthand notation that makes typing easier. So notice those orange triangles went away the moment we used these variables. And -1 means last variable. So from last variable, you are subtracting I and accessing that particular index. Okay, so let us now print, let's say, left diagonal sum equals to count L. Then for the right diagonal, okay, so that is the function. Let me define my matrix.
Radhika,
Yes.
actually, you're giving the input as M here. In our assignments, no, where we have to solve,
Hmm.
we have to get the input from the user, right? So
Okay.
how to give like a matrix? No, sometimes if I press enter and it is 3 by 3,
Hmm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can continuously press enter and give it.
Hmm.
Sometimes it is reading like one list as a single item like that. How to know in the assignments how to do it exactly? Because
Okay.
I am facing problem when I give like this. Sometimes, no, when I give in the prompt, the
Hmm.
numbers as enter, 1, 2, 3 in a sequential order.
Okay.
Then it takes correctly. Sometimes it takes like comma and on or space. So how to give
Okay.
the input?
So I don't think I properly understood what your query is. So my suggestion is, here is my email ID. If you could send
Yeah.
me screenshots of the exact issue that you are facing, like with the input that you are providing and what particular output that you are getting. If
Okay.
you could just send me some screenshots and some code snippets or something,
Yeah.
maybe I could help you. And if I find some solution to that, I'll put it up either on the discussion forum, or I'll write it. I'll make a short video, let's say, on YouTube and put it up over there. So that way,
Okay.
I think it can help you. So just send me some screenshot over there.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I'll do it.
Okay. So yeah, good question. I think you are trying to ask something like how we input a matrix. So you can just enter different numbers and store it in the by indexing the matrix at that particular location. You can run nested for loops. Uh, that's what I can think of right now.
That's what in the assignments, whatever it's given, no.
Mm-hmm.
Once when I give for loop, that nested for it works.
Okay.
Sometimes it doesn't work. It shows an error, runtime error. So I'm just confused on that.
Okay.
Anyway,
Okay.
I'll send you a screenshot.
Yes. Yes. Sure. I will have a look at it.
Yeah.
Okay, so for now, let us assume that we have this matrix. We are not running into any issues regarding taking the matrix as an input. Let's say that part is solved. Then uh, we have this, and let us run this. You see, left diagonal sum equal to 13, right diagonal sum equal to 30. Let's change a few elements now. Uh, let's do something like this. Okay, now you will see left diagonal and right diagonal sum are different. So pretty simple stuff. So now we can move to the next question. Okay, next question. Given a matrix M, write a function transpose which accepts a matrix M and returns the transpose of M. And what is a transpose of a matrix? Transpose of a matrix is basically interchanging rows and columns. Okay, so that is the transpose. Okay, before I proceed, I would also, this is what I mentioned in each uh, session, so I would repeat it over here since people were asking some doubts. So let me just write it down in the chat box. You have basically different channels for seeking help. So first one is the discussion forum of the channel. Second one is the YouTube channel. And the third one is my email ID. So let me just write it all down in one place. So there you go. So these are your 3 channels for seeking help: discussion forum, YouTube channel, and email ID. Okay, so now we come back to our transpose of a matrix. Okay, so what is a transpose of a matrix? It is basically swapping rows and columns. So let's say I have this matrix 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is my matrix. If I do transpose, that will become interchanging rows and columns. So first row is 1, 2, 3, that will become first column. Okay, second row is 4, 5, 6, that will become second column. And the third row is 7, 8, 9, that will become the third column. So this is what transpose of a matrix means. So now let us write down the function. So this will give you the number of rows, and then to access the number of columns, you can do like this. So M0 means it will look at just the first row. This is M0. And then length would tell you the number of elements in that first row. So that's how it will tell you the number of columns. Okay, so and then I will initialize my answer as a blank matrix. So I would do like this. So you notice I have written a very strange way of writing for loop. This is like a shorthand for loops. Okay, this is a shorthand notation. So you should know some shorthand notations as well. So earlier I had shown you a shorthand notation like a equal to a plus b becomes a plus equal to b. This is also a shorthand notation for loop. So what it does is for I in range called length, it will add this blank element to the matrix answer. So it will run this loop for, it will iterate I over this range called n for the number of times, for the number of columns that are there, and it will basically add these blank elements over there. So it just saves line. So in one line you have written what would have normally taken 2 or 3 lines. Then you will do the transpose. So this is how it will do transpose. Note that the indexing is used is j comma I. So this is what is doing the transpose. Okay, if I had written I comma j, that would be the same element. So that would not perform the transpose. So that's that, and then we will just return the answer. Okay, so that's my function. Let's go to our spider. Okay, let's get rid of this diag calc function and replace it with our transpose function. So yeah, that's it. We just now need to return. And replace this by transpose. So see, this matrix transposition has done. If I show you the original matrix, so this is the original matrix. You see, first row is 1 2 30. That has become the first column, 1 2 and 30. And if you look at the first column, that is 1 3 and 6, that has become the first row, 1 3 6. So it has indeed done the transposition. But this is a very complicated way of doing transposition. Fortunately for us, Python has a much simpler way of doing transpose. It provides you with a built-in command called transpose, which is there in the NumPy package. Okay, someone has given some other way of doing transpose. So yes, you can try out your own different ways of doing transpose, and if it works, it works. So there can be different logical ways of arriving at the same conclusion. So but a simpler way is using the NumPy package. That's the beauty of Python. You have so many packages which simplify your life. So instead of writing this huge piece of code, I can just replace it by two lines. Import numpy and then numpy dot transpose of the matrix M. Okay, so very simple. Let me give you a demo of this. So we did this humongous thing to do something as simple as a transpose. Now let me show you the beauty of Python. Okay, why it is showing invalid syntax? Oh, no, you're fine. So yeah, so this is the thing, and see what that both this empty right over here and
As
this,
NP you should put, no?
sorry,
You should put NP, import NP, numpy as NP and then NP dot
I
transpose.
can do that as well, but I am just writing the whole thing numpy. So when we use
Okay.
this thing called as, let me put it in a comment over here so it becomes clear. So whenever we use something like import package, it's like an alias it creates. So import package name as some short name. So this is basically, it replaces this package name as this short name locally, so that you can now use this short name instead of this long package name. So numpy is long, matplotlib even longer. Some of the package names are like really huge. So you do this as thing if you want to replace this big name by a shorter name. Okay, for me, I feel numpy is short enough right now for this 2 lines of code, so I can just use numpy.transpose as well. Okay, so let me just run this. So you see, it is giving you the same output, just the formatting of the output is a little bit different. Why? Because numpy formatting works in a way that looks familiar to me as a matrix. So this formatting is because of numpy. Numpy is essentially the perfect thing for any matrix calculations. So if you are working with matrices, you should ideally use numpy. If you just use these normal lists, so this is just a normal list. This is matrix as a 2D list, so to say. And whenever you use numpy, so numpy formats it like a matrix. Visual formatting.
Radhika, here I have one more question.
Yes, yes.
Uh, in the assignments, can we import NumPy and do it?
Okay, that is a good question. That part I'm not sure, because I think, see, this is if they are asking you to define a function which does this transpose, they would expect you to write something. You can't just say, okay, define transpose and then use inside return
No, not
np.
for transpose. Not for transpose. Okay. It may not be possible, yeah.
Yeah,
Beyond
so
the code.
let's say if I say that, okay, I want to make my function, and since I have been told to make a transpose function, I will say def transpose, and then I will remove all of this nonsense from here. I'm a very smart kid. I know that there's something called numpy. I will do this.
No, my question was this one, actually. Not
So
like that.
so yeah, and then I
Not
will
like that.
submit my
Actually, I
quiz.
meant is, what I meant is, see, when I am input, maybe I can discuss with you later also
Haha.
regarding the input, how to give. Because if I give like this, it's okay. So that's what I was thinking, that input, how to give it as a
Okay,
list. That's
so yeah,
it.
for the input thing, I will definitely have a look at it, and I will get back to
Okay.
you
Okay.
either on the discussion forum or mail, or maybe I'll make a YouTube video as well or something, so that if there are other students also facing similar issues, I think it will be helpful for them. So I remember
Yes.
you had asked some question last time also, and it was very good and it was helpful. So yeah, I had so I think your questions are very good in the sense that I think a lot of people also face this query. So if I address it, it helps a lot of students as well.
Thank you.
So yeah, so definitely I think once you graduate from this course, you should be using as many packages as possible, numpy and matplotlib or whatever. You should not try to work in an archaic manner and write code like this. This is just to make sure that you understand the logic behind different built-in functionality, and then you get into that mode of how to write a logical program. So that's why it is being introduced in this particular manner, so that you also know how to use different libraries, but at the same time you also know how to write the logic. So yeah, numpy is the gold standard in the programming world. So anything to do with arrays, matrices, people use numpy. Okay, so we now last question. So only one more question is left. So it says, given a matrix M, write a function snake that accepts a matrix M and returns a list which contains elements in a snake pattern of matrix M. So what they mean by snake pattern is this. So remember spiral pattern. So we had a spiral pattern that went something like this, in a spiral way. It went like this. Okay, so this was the spiral pattern. This is the snake pattern. It goes first row, then second row in reverse order, then third row in from left to right, then fourth row from right to left, and so on and so forth. So this is the snake pattern. It is much simpler than the spiral pattern. So code is also much simpler. So let us write down. So again, number of rows, we need to know the number of rows, we need to know the number of columns. We'll initialize our result and then we will run a for loop. So this modulo condition is there. See, if I modulo 2 equal to 0, then we are moving in this right direction, like this. And if not, then we move in the left direction. So this is for I modulo 2 equal to 0, and this one will be for I modulo 2 not equal to 0. Okay, so, and oh sorry, I forgot to write if here. If I modulo 2 equal to 0, and if it is not, that means else. So this is for reverse order. So -1 is the step size. This is the step size. That means it will go one backward. So if it is over here, then it will go backward. Okay, so this is the -1 step. So this is basically used to access the ith row. Okay, so in a 2D list or 2D matrix or whatever, in a 2D basically thing, your indexing is done like this: I, J, and what is this? This is the ith row, and jth column. So this element would be, let's say, somewhere over here, I comma j. But if you just write I, then this means ith row. So then it will access this entire ith row, all the elements. So this is mi would be all these elements. Okay. So yeah, that is all, and then we will return.
Radhika, here I want to know.
Yes.
See, -1 when I say, it means that if it is 3, my 3 cross 3 matrix, -1 will tell the third one, right?
Yes, the last.
Like
-1 means the last element. Yes.
Last row or column.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. And when it reduces to see, next step will be -2. Then from the left it will come to from the right it will come to left.
Yes.
Right?
So see,
This
let's say we have these many elements. It's a 4 cross 4. So this is -1. Okay. This is -2 because you did -1. Okay. Step size is -1. So from here you go to here because your step is -1. Then you will move here -3 and then you would go here -4. That will be your first element.
how will it will check the condition, like say when see, you are telling that column -1, right? Minus column left -1.
Yes.
Okay, 3 means -3 -1 -4. That
So,
is the
yes.
right.
Okay, so that is all. Let us now type it in Spider. So let's get rid of all this transpose. So I'll just write down the code. Okay, so this is first part. That means for every even numbered, even indexed rows, you need to go from left to right, which is the conventional order. And for every odd indexed rows, you need to go from right to left, which is not the conventional way. So let us now go to the next part, else condition. One more, else.
Actually, here index will that first, if it is 3 by 3 matrix, first row is 0.
Yes.
First row is 0.
So
like list indexing only.
Yes, yes. So so indexing in Python always starts from 0. No matter what index you are
Starts
using,
with 0.
it will always start from 0.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so this is it. Now let us call the function. So you see it is in that snake order. So 1, 2, 30 normally, and then 3, 4, 5 is in reverse order. It goes 5, 4, 3. And then 6, 7, 10 is in proper order. If I add more rows, let's say, then you will see first row proper, next reversed, then proper, then reversed, and then proper. So like like this, it will keep alternating between the reversed order and the normal order. Now, one thing means I want to mention over here, like again, this is not using numpy is like a very archaic way of doing things. Here I would suggest that you try doing this with numpy. Okay, numpy will make your life very easy. How? Because numpy has a function called flip. Okay, let me make in comment. Numpy has something called flip. Okay, it has a function called numpy.flip. What it does is flips the array in and prints in the reverse order. Maybe I can give you a demo and then you can try using numpy. So let's say okay, this is my, oh sorry, not np numpy. This is my thing and then I want to print in the reverse order. Okay, so what I'll do is print. Okay, so see, this will work. See this 3 2 1, it has printed in the reverse order. So I gave the input as 1 2 3, it printed in reverse order 3 2 1. So instead of doing all of this, running so many for loops, if else conditions, which if else condition will be required because every alternate row you need to flip, but instead of this for loop, you have this for loop over here. In one line you can just do. So you can basically replace this for loop by this numpy.flip, and that would greatly simplify your life. So yeah, so you can try writing this code maybe with the help of numpy. Okay, so that's all for today. Let's come back. So this completes week 7 and hopefully you will be able to solve the questions properly. Okay, someone is having a suggestion on how to input the elements as a list or a matrix. So someone was asking this question and someone has provided a solution to it. I personally haven't tried this solution, so I don't know if this works. So I can try this solution and I can get back to you. But for now, this is the suggestion given by Elango, I guess. Suggestion by your fellow classmate. So if it works, try it out. Else, I will figure it out and get back to you. So that's all for today's session. Hopefully, it was helpful and hopefully you will do well in the quiz. So thank you very much. Once again, here is the YouTube channel for those of you who missed it. Okay, so thank you everyone. Bye bye. See you in the next week.